Well, hello folks, I'm L.A. Little and this is today's short take. With Apple reporting last night, it's probably worth taking a look. You can see the numbers all over the net. Everybody's writing about them, always do. And what they don't do is probably give you a perspective from a chart view, so let's try and do that. You had this big spike down. This was the August swoon. You come into the swing point high. That's the second time of a test. That's still about a 60%er. Next time down, percentages won't be that good, in terms of holding. But, so far, long-term basis, it doesn't look too bad. Bring it back to a weekly chart. Here on the weekly chart, you can see a little bit more of what's taking place. And what you essentially have is you have like three ranges that have been created here. You kind of have this top range up here. Underneath it, you've got a secondary range. And underneath that, you've kind of got the third range down here. So when you look at Apple, think of it in these terms, right? There's kind of three ranges. It's in the middle range at this point. Unless it gets back up here, it doesn't mean a lot. Unless it gets back down here, it also doesn't mean a lot on this time frame, on the weekly time frame. So Apple's just trading in a large range. If you pull the whole thing, it's a huge range. It's just trading inside of it. And it's bouncing around inside that range, and not much else matters in that particular view. Now, if you pull it down to a more micro view, and you're looking at it here now on a daily chart, right, there is another range that's in effect, and it's this one. This is a key range on this chart, because underneath here, there's not much down here, right? And over this, there's not much up here to stop it. It trades over these two swing point highs, but then does an immediate takeaway bar. That's never a good sign. So that in itself is not what you want to see. If we take and clean up this chart and then take a look at it from this perspective, today, you get the earnings. You've pulled down in the earnings, right? Now the question is can you push back up? So in other words, you've set up the stage potentially, right, for some sort of an ABCD structure to take you higher. That's one way to view it, always is. The other way to view it is if you get a little bump today and it really doesn't take you anywhere, then you set up the potential to come back down into this range and get back to the low end of the range, right? And down at the low end of the range, if you look at that perspective, you've got swing points all over the place down here that are waiting to be broken. And so Apple, the real test is this range on the short-term time frame. That's what we're looking at off of earnings. The 110 area is probably the area that this thing is important, but on this range trade, it's down under 1.7. So I think Apple, anything between about 117, 118 down to 107, it's just noise. That is today's short take.